Welcome, and thank you for joining us on The People Behind Your Water. My name is Teresa Alvarado, and I'm the manager of the Office of CEO Support and Communications at the Santa Clara Valley Water District. The Santa Clara Valley Water District manages an integrated water resources system that includes the supply of clean, safe water, flood protection, and stewardship of streams on behalf of Santa Clara County's 1.8 million residents. The district effectively manages 10 dams and surface water reservoirs, 3 water treatment plants, a state-of-the-art water quality laboratory, nearly 400 acres of groundwater recharge ponds, and more than 275 miles of streams. We provide wholesale water and groundwater management services to local municipalities and private water retailers who deliver drinking water directly to homes and businesses throughout Santa Clara County. So this is our first show, and I'm looking forward to spotlighting water resources issues in Santa Clara County. Our first guest is the CEO of the Santa Clara Valley Water District, Beau Goldie. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So I already mentioned a little bit about the Water District and what our mission is, but why is our role so important in Silicon Valley?
Santa Clara Valley Water District provides a very vital service to the community, which is really managing the water resources for the county. It actually began back in 1929 with the agriculture community and the amount of overdrafting or pumping of the groundwater basin that started the ground to actually sink down, subsidence. And it was about 1929 where the community got together and created the Santa Clara Valley Water Conservation District.
Okay.
What that did was allow for an entity to actually construct reservoirs that capture the rainfall in the wintertime, and we use that to recharge the groundwater basin, which was to prevent subsidence.
So it refills the groundwater basin beneath the land surface.
Right, so it provides that supply so it does to arrest the subsidence.
Okay.
Well, at the same time, the county had a number of flooding issues within the county. So the county of Santa Clara actually had those responsibilities. Well, in 1968, our Board of Directors and the County Board of Supervisors actually elected to combine those. So instead of having a water supply and flood protection service, flood protection, it was combined into one entity that was able to manage those water resources. Then in 2000, in response to really what the community was looking for, which was environmental stewardship, they expanded the mission, the Board of Directors expanded the mission, so now we really have an entity that actually manages all the water resources for the county. It's very unique.
Interesting. And why is that important to our region?
Well, as you know, life depends upon water, not only the human life, but also the wildlife. If we don't adequately manage those resources for the community, we'll have economic impacts, and what will impact actually the growth of the economy, and it'll actually have an impact on the wildlife species themselves too.
And I would imagine our quality of life. I mean, we're so accustomed to having a beautiful environment and having ample water resources. We wouldn't be able to survive.
Well, you are correct. In fact, one of the attractive features to bring people to Santa Clara County is not only the weather that we have, but also the environment, the habitat we have, the whole connection of the trail systems next to the creeks that the cities manage a trail system. That's one of the major attractive features that help bring people to Santa Clara County and for employment.
You know, I was thinking about touching on employment. You know, this area grew a lot after World War II. There was a real population growth, and I think that's when our importation of water began as well.
Right. So actually, after we created the dams and reservoirs, started recharging the groundwater basin, we're able to arrest subsidence to a certain degree. But if you recall, during the early 50s, there was a population boom within Santa Clara County that put more demand on the groundwater basin. So locally, there's not enough rainfall to actually supply the entire supply for the community. So we had to import water from the Sierras. Today, we actually import 55% of the water supply for Santa Clara County comes from the Sierras. 15% is delivered through the Hetch Hetchy system, and then 40% actually flows through the Delta, and we use that water and store it in our reservoirs, and we actually recharge the groundwater basin with those supplies.
So just to be clear, the Hetch Hetchy system is the San Francisco system,
That's
right?
correct.
It comes from the Yosemite area.
Correct.
And then you said 40% comes through the Delta, which is the Sacramento, San Joaquin rivers, that area of the Delta where those rivers meet and come to our area.
For example, the Shasta Reservoir and Orville, that we get water supply from those reservoirs. It flows through the Sacramento River, like you said, through the Delta, and then at the southern end of the delta, we actually pump it into some canals that actually flow. One canal actually comes in through the Milpitas area. The second canal actually comes in over Pacheco Pass. And we actually pump it up to the top of Pacheco Pass, and it flows by gravity all the way to Santa Teresa, just up here.
You know, I would imagine not a lot of people know this, right? And part of the reason we're doing the show is to raise awareness about these water issues. And I've heard you mention a couple times, as long as you turn the tap and there's water and there's not flooding at your doorstep, we don't really think much about water.
Well, and that's one of the challenges we have. We have a very good engineered system. We can supply the water. It's really getting the community to engage in what we do. Like you said, people turn on the tap, the water comes out. There's no floodwaters in their living room in the morning. They're happy. People are busy. We understand that. We try to really get them to engage. We have advisory committees that help advise us. We have 9 different advisory committees. There's over 100 people that serve on those advisory committees.
Just volunteers?
They're volunteers, and they help advise the board on the policies. We have a number of brochures and pamphlets that we actually use to engage the community, to help them understand what we do and why we do it. We just recently updated the website, which is a very nice mechanism to get a lot of information. We use the social media. Not exactly the best for me, but we use social media a lot now. And we do essentially all we can. We have tours of our facilities. We are more than happy to describe what we do. In fact, these series of TV shows will actually help people. We'll go into the homes and help them to understand what we do, and I think that will be very helpful for them.
You know, actually, September, we have a lot of events going on. I was going to mention this at the end. I might as well mention it now. September 8th is the celebration of the Guadalupe River Reach 6 completion, which is a flood protection project.
That's correct.
Right? September 15th is a volunteer opportunity, Coastal Cleanup Day, where we'll have 43 sites around the county where volunteers, thousands of volunteers, will come out and clean up the streams. On the 19th, we'll be having a community meeting for the Permanente Creek project. The 22nd, we're participating in the Watershed Summit. On the 27th, we're hosting an open house on the Anderson Dam Seismic Retrofit Project. And then on the 29th, we're participating in a conference hosted by United Neighborhoods of Santa Clara County because they want to learn more about recycled water.
Right.
So that's an interesting combination of activities.
Well, and you'll find it's very diverse in terms of those issues, and that's just 1 month of sessions. We have these all year long. And if people want to hear from one of the district employees to actually understand what's going on, we'd be more than happy to come and provide a presentation and answer some questions, because it's important for the community to really understand what we do. We're using public funds to provide these services. So I want them to really understand how their dollars are actually being used, and that they're being used efficiently and effectively to provide these services, these very important services to the community.
You know, and also people don't hear directly from the water district generally, right? They would normally hear from a retailer who sends them their bill, sends them information on a monthly basis.
Well, that's a very good point. Our responsibility on the water supply side is really to bring the water to Santa Clara County. We don't sell the water to individual, your home, for example. That's done through a water retailer and some of the municipalities. So there's 13 retailers in the area: San Jose Water Company, Cal Water, San Jose Muni, Gilroy, Morgan Hill. They all have municipalities. They're the ones who actually send it to the individual customer. Our pipelines are typically 24 inches and larger, not the 3/4 inch ones that come into your house. Okay,
so we're the transmission system, as it were, and they are the distribution system to the home and business.
We're the wholesaler, they're the retailer.
Okay, interesting. So this show is called The People Behind Your Water, and through conversations with district employees, we really want to learn more about them, who they are, how they came to the district. You know, it fascinates me that not a majority, but a large percentage of our employees are engineers, because it's a very technical business. So how did you come to the district, and when did you start?
Well, I started a while ago. I came to the district in 1984, and my first position here was a junior engineer. From there, I worked up. I was involved in the first National Underground Storage Tank Program, which actually started here in Santa Clara County to actually protect that groundwater basin from leaking underground storage tanks. Started that program. From there, moved into compliance. making sure the district is in compliance with the various environmental regulations. So I moved into there. From that point, it was about 2000 when the district changed its mission to do environmental stewardship. I moved into that role, so I then managed the county-wide stewardship program.
Okay.
From there, I moved in the capital program and ended up here as the CEO.
So the capital program, explain that a little.
Capital program, we have...
What does that mean?
The capital program, the water industry, water utility in particular, and the Santa Clara Valley Water is very a capital-intensive program, meaning we have a lot of infrastructure that we construct.
Okay.
Pipelines, treatment plants to actually deliver the water. Flood protection, so there are levees that are constructed, there's detention basins. This is the capital investment that we use the public's money to invest in to provide these services. This is, many people may have heard of aging infrastructure. Our system, the system that supplies the water, is built over the past 80 years, since 1929. Some of those infrastructures are reaching the end of their life. Pipelines are reaching the end of their life. We have a Rinconada water treatment plant is about 45 years old.
And that's in Los Gatos.
And that's in Los Gatos. And that facility is at the point where we are planning the retrofitting, the reconstruction of that, essentially. And that's an effort that we have. And this stuff is very expensive. Just the Rinconada water treatment plant is estimated to cost around $200 million. We have Anderson Reservoir and the reservoirs I mentioned before that need to be retrofitted to bring them up to today's to today's seismic standards and engineering knowledge.
And to make sure they're reliable.
It's
for the future, right?
Exactly. It's all intended to make sure that it's reliable supplies to the community and the businesses.
So we also have an elected board of directors, right? We have 7 districts, and those meetings are open to the public?
Yeah, we have 7 elected boards that represent geographical areas. They're elected by the people, and they're there to represent the people. Their job is to make the connection to the community. Their job is to make sure that we are held accountable for the public dollars and that we're held accountable for delivering these services. They work pretty hard. We have quite a number of board meetings. We give them packets that are probably 4 inches thick that they have to review every couple of weeks. The meetings that we hold here at the district headquarters building on Almaden Expressway are open to the public. In fact, we encourage the public to go. And if they can't make it down to the meeting, they're streamed on the web, so they can actually view them from their home, their computer. And they also have opportunities to email in and provide comments to the board of directors.
Good. And as I understand it, we're one of the only agencies in the state that stream the board meetings live, and then we have them archived as well for the public to look at later. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And the system we have is, I only know of one other water agency that actually streams their meetings. You can go back, I believe we started this in 2008, and you can actually go back and look at the agendas and click on whatever particular agenda item. It's a very nice system.
So we also, transparency is something that people talk about a lot. It's a buzzword, but you know, it's one of those things, I think, in Silicon Valley in particular, that people here want to understand what we do. They want to see how we're making decisions. They want to be a part of it. So talk a little bit more about transparency, if you could. Well,
transparency is very important for us. It is important because we really want the community to be engaged in what we're doing and understand what we're doing. It's the public's money that we're trying to be responsible for, so I want to hear from them. I mentioned earlier just the pamphlet information, the streaming, the board agenda items. We post our board agenda items about 10 days in advance of the board meeting. Okay. That provides the public at least a couple of weekends to review the information and provide comments. We would be more than happy, like I mentioned earlier, to come to any group to talk about what we do. I just would encourage it. We really enjoy talking about what we do.
You know, part of what we do is prepared materials so that the public really can hopefully understand what we're doing. We have a budget and brief document that we prepare every year as soon as the board approves the budget, and it really describes what our priorities are going to be in spending. We have, you know, a groundwater quality summary, we have newsletters, we have lots of material that people can sign up for. So I would encourage folks to sign up for our e-newsletter on our website, which is at valleywater.org. So in thinking about the future, I think the workforce is really important, right?
Yes.
Obviously in this area, we got to make sure that we have workers that are qualified to do this work. Talk a little bit about that, and as you're looking ahead.
Yeah, Santa Clara Valley is a technical agency. We have very technical staff. The majority of our staff is technical. Those are chemists, biologists, environmental planners, engineers. They are the ones who actually put the systems together and maintain and deliver those. One of the challenges that we have is that many people is aging workforce, and some people will be moving on, and is supplying the staffing resources that can continue those. It's very important. One of the things we do invest in is really developing our staff and training them, because the more effective and the more efficient the staff is, the better off the public is in terms of these services. So we do invest in the staff to be able to do that, and we have excellent staff. If you look out in the professional community in terms of what our staff does, they're very well respected out there because of the work that the agency does.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I just wanted to remind folks to sign up for our e-newsletter. All our publications are on our website. We also have a great online customer management system where you can submit questions, comments, compliments. It's called Access Valley Water, and you can find that on our main webpage. In addition, it is summer conservation season, so if you are looking at ways to save water, please go to save20gallons.org, and the 20 is the number. So save20gallons.org, and you'll find some great tips there. So again, please sign up for our e-newsletter, and we look forward to seeing you next time on The People Behind Your Water. Thanks for joining us. It's 2012 Coastal Cleanup Day. The Santa Clara Valley Water District and other local partners have over 1,200 volunteers cleaning up our creeks, rivers, and streams.
Hey, it's Coastal Cleanup Day 2012. I'm Anya Vato. I'm Esther. And we're here today cleaning up our rivers and creeks because it's important to have our environment nice and clean. So we're here on a beautiful Saturday. And yeah, we're excited.
And there's already a lot of people here. They're just signing in right now, and we're ready to go out into the creeks and the shores and all the dirty areas and just try to clean it up to make this place more beautiful.
Hi, we're here today because we care about the environment. We want to keep our coastal waters clean.
I'm here today to clean up the river, and I'm here partly because my mom works here and I'd really like to keep her environment clean.
And I understand how important it is, the natural resources are, and this is a great effort on the part of Santa Clara Valley Water, and we want to be a part of it.